Ba-dum. I should probably just make that every time. Or just like do whatchamacallit, like an exclamation point for the that way it just pops up and I can just pin that. Start the timer before I forget, because I forget again. Start the raids. Oh, I forgot to do the show. Actually, no, I wouldn't be able to do the show one. The usual one. I don't have strike time now, so it doesn't really matter. Starts where? Oh, I forgot to look at the. Oh, well. Oh, that's pretty handy. Teachers down there in my two course. Deaf stream. Oh, that's what that means. For to be displayed can be so curly bracket. That's really interesting because we use this and MOC just taught it like this, right? It's covering this, but uh I remember correctly. It's in here somewhere. Because I remember writing that and being like, what does that do? See if we can find it. Oh, it might have been on something I didn't write, actually. Because there was a couple things I didn't write because it wasn't going to work. Oh, here, this one. The get calories dot zero F. Because I was looking for number. Setting, like, what kind of, any decimal places it'll show. Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. That's why I say like to use both because MIT's a lot of times. I'm assuming it's probably because they expect you to read the textbook, and the textbook probably like specifies some of this. But the MOOC like covers more things, like in that regard of like little things that to work on to fix, or like not to fix, but to use. Oh, that's pretty. Use of F string. Yeah, yeah. The F strings are really versatile. They're what I use for setting up the variable names or like the what is it path or the file name. I don't know, F strings were another thing though. When I learned like how they worked, I just didn't want to use anything else. Or a function named format takes a floating point number argument. The function turns a new list contains each element original list string format two decimal. The order of the items in the list should remain unchanged. And It flows. Yeah, so we'll just use number. I need to. One dot. Why is that? Is it because it doesn't know what it is yet? Maybe because it doesn't know what it is yet. Invalid decimal literal. Oh, because I forgot the. Okay, that's why. Because this would be an F string. Wait, so do we not need? Oh, we don't need the. I don't think we need the this then. I didn't know. Oh, because it's going 1.2. Why is it going through the individual? Because I have to append it. I keep forgetting this every time. Why is it not going through the entire list? Because I'm okay, bro. I'm telling you, my brain. It's so dead. 2, 3. They're all strings. What's up, Zach? Another? Bro, Yugu just loves giving me everything but swords. It's the Magna 3 Celeste effect. Celeste? Magna 3 did the same thing. Where it would it would I have I have so many katanas and daggers and like I had all the katanas and daggers I needed plus extras before I even get finished my first fist. Like I think I was at like 2 fists, and then I already had like the 8 katanas and 8 daggers I would ever need. Let me do. My brain is feeling cynical today. Oh, I didn't get around to being able to watch the one of the JP bros had a Goku video up. Um, I'm not gonna lie. As soon as I saw her kit, like from what you posted, and I was like reading it and stuff, I was like, I'm waiting for the free character better than Zodiac, like Reddit posts and stuff. Even though I don't think it would be 30% doubt, like cut to her. 30% reduced CA damages, a decent hit. Yeah, I did a test on Lua, and there wasn't really much difference on Lua, at least, whether I used Snakes 3 or not. But I don't know if that's just because it's not enough turns, because I think I killed Lua in like 14 turns? Actually, I don't remember. It takes a little bit. It's not like super fast, but it's not super slow either. Definitely faster than killing Chev. I don't know if he's like too short for it to matter. Yeah, the fact that Koku's weapon uh is uh is a fist means all I really need is a Cosmos fist and the second what should we call it? another less fist, and then I can try to see if I can set up a Halmal dagger grid. I technically could do one now. It's just I'm too lazy to make an Ultima katana because I forget that the Dark Opus weapon is a katana. Because I was thinking in regards to using it in like end game stuff, but I've also just realized that I couldn't figure out why my dark team and against Chev was so squishy compared to the other teams, and then I've remembered it's because uh well, it's not using a draconic weapon, it's using an opus weapon. To be fair, and fire is a bit of an outlier because my fire grid's like pretty built up. But like all the other elements I have the draconic weapon built for it, except for dark and light. And then I still haven't. I need a. I need to farm. I need to farm hard so I can get the stamina pendulum. I still don't have the third skill. Been a little lazy on that. Oh, you're right. Yeah, because I was thinking in regards of using it for mana diver. I forgot about the Kengo katana. Yeah, because I was thinking in the regards of using it for like something that wasn't, well, you know, something with a bit more skill damage focused for the MC. So I had been thinking in like regards to monk and uh and mana diver, but like it would work with that too, because glitch and snake, even summer magus would still deal with it pretty well. I guess I could use that to drop the harp because I use a avatar harp that Ogi grid. I didn't think about that. Cool. I mean, I still need probably the fist setup for non charge attack focused teams, but yeah, that works. Well, because like what I was thinking is I got another pain and suffering axe from my spark, right? So I was like debating if I should just do. Well, it's just the problem. I think both of my pain and sufferings are 0 stars. We'll check it on the break. And I don't know if like I don't think dropping Magna, or I wouldn't necessarily be dropping Magna 3, but I'd drop I'd be dropping the avatar staffs, right? To be one would be a 0 star pain and suffering, the other one would be a 5 star Celeste axe to get the 4 axes. Which well, technically would work fine because it would synergize with the Cosmos axe. Though to be fair, I could also just swap in the Belial axe as Serpharic weapon instead of the Ultima sword. Also works. It's just I don't know if it would be better. I guess I could try it out. I would try it out like blue one. Oh, this is a bit. Oh, no, that's inside.
Hello there.
What's next to? I think if I do, it'll start from. I have to expand it. Sometimes I like minimize that folder. But how is it going? Still working through the Woo story? Good. It's same old. Just doing my Python studying while grinding gotcha on the side that I can full auto. But normal day. Oh, right. I keep making that mistake. I need to append it when I want the whole thing. And I put the return thing in the wrong. It's my brain's like slow to like get back in full speed right now. I don't know. I blame the weather. I've been for some reason randomly waking up like 2 hours early. like nothing, to like no noise. Just wake up, and then I just lay in bed and stare at the roof for like an hour and a half. Really enjoying what was updates. Hopefully Star Rails are as good for the past few patches of this. Yeah. I mean, they are hyping up the next story a decent amount. I don't know. I'm just hoping the character that I'm plan on pulling for Star Rail in 3.1 like has a good kit. But yeah, I mean the next story looks pretty interesting. I think it potentially it looks way more interesting than the Penacony storyline for me personally. I wasn't overly impressed with the Penacony one. But yeah, I need to reinstall Wua so I can build up at least like enough resources to pull for that one lady. Isn't this featuring? Oh, I don't know if you. I've been watching like QE2 podcast while I wait for BGG to add Druid to the game. Uh, I think Sir Gog, with the guy who does a lot of like the data videos, I think he has he used to have a job that's similar to yours, like sir, because he was talking about like recording and like doing weather stuff for flights before he started doing the whole POE. I just found it interesting. I was like, oh hey, I know somebody who plays POE that does stuff for that. From what I can remember, I'm not misremembering the things you've told me about with your work. That's the job. Yeah, yeah. I heard that. I heard that, and I did like the Leonardo DiCaprio gif of like I know someone like that. Hey, pretty funny. Sometimes stuff like that reminds you how small the world is. Because it's kind of interesting. Because I don't know if he still does it, but like for instance, my brother, the last job he had, which was like work from home for him, it was different. It was like making sure helicopters and stuff had all their paperwork for in line for takeoff and stuff. He didn't have to deal with weather stuff, but it was just interesting to know the amount of people I've known that have some sort of relation to aviation stuff. Certain parts people don't not to get plane off the ground. Yeah. Yeah. But I grew up like a lot of people for some interesting reason. A lot of people we always would know somebody who was involved with aviation and stuff. Like which is interesting considering how much I moved. I guess maybe part of it was just did military stuff. Because like for instance, my brother was in the military for helicopters and stuff. But like even like what is it? We knew a commercial uh like a commercial pilot for like passenger flights and stuff, like civilian. It was like really interesting. We'd always talk about stuff. Here, can you get a double shot espresso, extra cream, 2 shots of caffeine? Well, unfortunately, Goku, it's a bar. We don't carry coffee because coffee is gross, but we can get you juice with vodka. So close enough, right? Same thing. Surely it'll do the same thing. It'll pep you up. How's you? Item counts the number specified. Method will not count occurrences. Is why it annoys me. Didn't teach you really on that. And I mean, I probably could have figured it out if I kept working on it. There's a couple of program or a couple of work things that probably could have figured it out if I spent some time on. Wasn't really in the mood for it. What I was doing. I'll probably go back and try to do some of the exercises I skipped when I like before I hit go into the advanced section. We still have a decent bit of the intro portion to get to do that. Play streets. Ah, so you can alter the state of something that is in there, but you can't just like straight. Yeah. Oh no, that's what it is. Okay, so it does replace it. It's just that you have to like reinitialize the variable with it. When can you expect your coffee, Goku? I told you this is a bar. We got alcohol and juice. Take your pick. Oh, whiskey with apple juice. That's my preferred drink of choice. We ain't got coffee here. There's a broken down Starbucks across the street, I guess. We can get you a 2 cent coupon. Also, I don't like coffee. I don't drink coffee. I don't drink tea. It's a string argument. Friend of the character. Equally appearance appears first, and I don't know. Get a margarita, double shot of vodka, 1 shot of rum, and some lime juice. Am I shaken or stirred? Great question. We only shake margaritas in this household. because then I get to use my fancy little shaker cup. I haven't used that in a while. I actually have like a little at home bartending kit that my brother that his wife got me for I think of my birthday. My mom made like this off mention once of how like I like mixing drinks. So they got it for me, and so I like use it. I ended up using it more because my mom would be like, "When are you gonna make some?" Like, I guess right now, sure. I was perfectly content with just just pouring shit in a cup and mixing with a spoon. Less things to clean. Always the best way is shaking. Yeah, I mean, there's certain drinks that doesn't really make too big of a difference which way you do it. But there's definitely a couple other ones where it's nice because you can, especially if like you want a drink to be cold, but you don't want to serve it with ice because watering it down would change the flavor, right? If you shake it with ice, it makes the drink colder longer because the liquid will stay cold. But then on the flip side, there's other alcohols, like depending on like the viscosity of the liquid, some of the some of them don't mix well if you mix them like that. But if you put enough, elbow grease and arm strength into it, you can mix just about anything. But it does generally get the job done better than mixing. If what you really want is the flavor, then like stirring. If you really want the flavors like mesh together, especially if there's like things in the drink. Like for instance, if you do like a juice, but the juice has like a lot of pulp, right? You generally want to shake that with the alcohol because it mixes better over stirring it. But it needs to. I need to have it keep track of for each one. Add it to. Why do you scroll down on your recommended? Oh, break time. I scroll down on your recommended to see a streamer called Vodka. You want some? Knows. YouTube knows. Twitch knows. Google knows. They all know. They all know, so they all tempt you. They're like, oh, they said the word. They typed it out. They breathed it into existence. Yeah, it's kind of funny to me how like they don't even really hide it at all. You just I remember there was one time we were on call talking to some buddies like a couple years ago, and like we randomly started talking about like cars and stuff. And now I hadn't searched up a car video in probably like a year and a half leading up to that conversation. And then mysteriously out of nowhere, YouTube started recommending me just a bunch of car videos specifically for the makes and models that we had been talking about in that conversation. And I was like, dog, y'all need to at least pretend. Y'all need to at least put a couple of like other just generic car things in there to pretend. Like, it's just not sneaky at all. Can't see your search history. I don't know how to tell you this. They can. They can. They have it hard copied, printed out in a filing cabinet underneath the Pentagon. They double check it every day. Now you know. I can't see my. Ah, I mean, octopus. Great. No, all I said is they can't see. I'm not gonna incriminate myself that badly. FBI man, that's Goku sentence. I'm I am merely the messenger, not the owner of the mail. Yeah, look, I'm sorry, but in this case, it's for the greater good. It's for the greater good. Because I'm also a bear, so I'm also already on their watch list. So they're like, it's a bear around alcohol on the internet. Mm, dubious setups. I can't let them nail me for someone else's words. Then I'll have to give up everything and go back to the to my tree in the forest. Can't be having that. You wouldn't want me to have to go back to my one tree next to a rock out in the cold rain. I wouldn't even be able to take my little chunks. They'll take my little chunks from me. Also, I can't tell if the music's a little loud or not. For me, it sounds kind of loud. That's because of my speakers up. The bartender don't at you. Look, I'm just saying. They put that cheese in front, sniffer, sniffer. Can't, can't resist. Become like that New York rat pulling a cheese pizza up the stairs. Gouda. Do I like Gouda cheese enough? Wait. So maybe if it was like melted on a sandwich, then that means I have to go find a sandwich and someone to melt. Give you every cheese, mac and cheese to not rat you out, but there's cheese that doesn't go well together. You can't just toss all the cheese in a pot and just call it good. The good cheese? Mm. I don't know, Goku. That's a little too generic. That's a little too generic. What if good cheese for you isn't good cheese for me? The FBI knows my cheese preferences because they know everything. So they've already got you stacked on that. The chef's kiss. No, that just sounds insanitary. You kissing my cheese before you put it in the mac and cheese? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe if it was a muscle waifu, but Goku, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that'll work. I don't know if that'll pass OSHA regulations. How you pass on them cooties? Actually, I think I said I was gonna check something on the break for this game, but then I started the Leviathan Red. I guess I'll check it on like next break. This is a muscle waifu. Did you forget how to spell? See now, see now we have a problem. Forgot how to spell the word waifu, and then you claim that they're a muscle waifu? I don't know. Goku, I don't know. This deal seems a little A little dubious. A little suspicious. Want pick? Sounds sus. That's a virus. Feel it in my bones. Funny enough, when I was growing up, whenever like our computer started acting up, my dad's like instant reasoning was always like, "It's a virus." And he'd be like, "It's a virus." Now we gotta like completely reformat the computer. And, and then like when I got my associate's degree, one of the first things I learned was like 90% of the stuff that my dad said was a virus wasn't a virus. It's just some other problem that you could have fixed with that reformat. Okay. I was just like, oh, my childhood was a lot. All right, I was gonna check the EMPs. Wind team. Forgot about that. I'll get them done eventually. I'll get checked at some. Oh, I also got Tico leveled up. I thought I had done my skips yesterday, but I guess I had done them like before daily reset and then daily reset, and then my brain thought I'd already done them for the day. I guess I'll set up like a full auto team for LS to see if I can try to get the second fist unlocked. I think I need like a muscle waifu. I have my own waifu. Keep it for yourself, Goku. Let it marinate. Save it for a rainy day. Be bad though, but if she's bad, then I mean, good. But then if she's not good, then how is she gonna meet the qualifications for top tier muscle? Good broccoli cheddar soup. Hey yo, Chef Slinks there. Is it like how do you like your broccoli cheddar Slinks there? You like it like kind of watery or like the thicker side? Thick like it. Uh, honestly, not the answer I was expecting, but definitely an answer that's fitting for. You don't have to be sick for broccoli cheddar. Chicken noodle maybe, but broccoli cheddar is just good soup, good cold weather soup. Yeah, we have like the recipe for this like white chicken chili that we make when it's cold. Doesn't last very long. I eat a lot of it in like one sitting. Let's go. Break time over. Back on the grind. Turn that off before just like yells at me again. There we go. Alright, so for character in line. No, that's not gonna work. It has to be. Oh, no, I know what it is. With most. quick and easy to make. You can make a big batch, so now I don't have to cook till Friday. Yeah, soup is always good. I like soup with like a nice like sandwich, like a warm sandwich. All sandwiches would be fine too. I'm feeling lazy, but sometimes I like a little warm, melted. Cold weather. You shit for cold weather. If it's cold, you step on a robe, call it a day. No, no, no. Cold weather is when it's time to eat like, something with a little bit of something hot with a little bit of spice on it. Get the internals rolling. Cold here is 73 degrees anyway, bruh. I think it's still in the 20s. Yeah, we're at a crisp like 29 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm vibing. I think that should do what I wanted to do. Man, Slinkster done sent Goku to the Nether Realm and then gets hit with a Mr. Beast head. GG. Game is over. Rest in peace. Get the coffin. Okay, that worked. This code's not like done though. I need to set it up so that it takes in the lights or like the index, whichever one. Did you survive the Mr. Beast ad, Goku? Was it the ad for that stupid like shell game thing that he's doing or whatever? I got that a lot. That was pissing me off. Every time I get the option to, I'd be like, I'm not interested. Out of my face. Downside summer, which lasts 8 to 9, averages at 115. Oh, reminds me of my uni days out in good old middle of nowhere, Texas. I don't know how I survived that, to be honest. I don't do well with heat. Breakfast sausage to your soup. I don't know if I've ever had like broccoli and cheddar with like breakfast sauce. But to be fair, like I'm not real big on the breakfast sausage. I had this conversation with Nugget when she was streaming, where we like concurred. Like, I don't like breakfast sausage. Breakfast sausage. I'd like sausage with my breakfast. Like, because a lot of times the breakfast sausage isn't up to my taste. Not a big fan. But like sausage, I'll probably eat most of it. Yo, brother. One with the that looks hard. Recipe and easy way to get money. And then they play a Mr. Beast game to get money. Oh, that one's. I think that one's slightly different. The one I've been getting is the one where he's like, "This is like $3 million or some shit." And he's just standing on a pile of money, and then people are like, are lined up to do some sort of obstacle course shenanigans. Yeah, that should do that, right? So it's like if line character is. Oh wait, no, it'll never reach this. This needs to be like here. Right this. Oh, it's Mr. Vegan. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I've been getting a bunch of ads for recently. I was kind of getting on my nerves. Doing a bunch of stuff around the house. Oh, productive. You have to clean a bunch, or is it just like moving things? Sometimes you add bacon, sometimes you add regular burger. Yeah, we usually have like my mom's been doing this mix of like ground beef that she's found that she likes, where it's like ground beef with like this Italian ground sausage. Really good. I'll add that to soups. Sometimes like we'll have like tomato soup in the fridge, and I'll just be too lazy to make a sandwich, so then I'll just like toss the ground mix in there and call it good. I want to test this with the to see if the other thing works. Like this should still return E. Then if I take this off, put this here to return F. Yeah, okay, so that works. That is what I wanted to do. Taking a bunch of stuff out and prepping some things in case half of the snow on Friday. Fair. Yeah. I don't think we have much snow in our forecast left for this week. I say as I look and see that Friday has not just little snow icons, but old snow icons. So we might get snow on Friday also, which would be nice. We got a little light dusting yesterday. Hopefully we get like actual snow coverage. Always popping up. He's barely more popular than PewDiePie. What happened? I mean, it's because he's filthy fucking rich, and he's been doing a bunch of other stuff. So he spends the money, gets the ads, and pushes them out. Like, what is it? I think Zaxby's or something. Like, I don't know if you have like a Zaxby's near you, like a fast food joint for that does like chicken stuff, like fried chicken tenders and stuff like that. They had like a Mr. Beast box. I was like, interesting. I don't know how he keeps making all that money, but he must be doing something right. It's there. Please write a function named no vowels, which takes a strings of argument. Function returns any strings, which should be the same as the original, but with all the vowels removed. You can assume the string will only. Oh, that one's pretty easy. I've been. Do games like that, you might as well give your money to the poor. I think he used to have a thing where it was like if you did something, he would send you like $2,000 or something like that. Saying something's been off with that guy for over 5 years. Yeah, yeah, he's a little sus. Every time like allegations from pop up, they kind of like get swept under the rug pretty quick. And even then, to be fair, I've never even cared for any of this stuff personally, so I don't get it. But then again, I don't get the draw for most of the other like super popular streamers like PewDiePie and stuff like that. Number one broke bitch right here. I don't know. I don't know, Goku. If you gotta say it, it might not be true. You know, you gotta let your way of life say it for you. Just be able to smell the brokenness through the chat. The guys all in one house. That is a bit food for thought. But yeah, I mean, I know he's been doing some. I think there's like I've been getting the random ads for like this little like food blender thing that I think is also his because it's like I think it's like something beast or whatever. I don't know. All I know is I never understood the draw for it, but that's what it is. Okay. The remove still works on stream. Just have to redo the stuff. Yeah, I'm assuming the remove. I think that's how it does. I have another way of doing it, but I think like the remove still works on strings. Broke, hella broke. Rika broke. You take a shower 3 days to save. So I mean, to be fair, you're not supposed to take a shower every day anyway. It's bad for your skin. I don't take a shower. I think it's about the same tempo I do. Maybe like 2 to 3 days. As long as you're not like busting ass, sweating your balls off, you shouldn't be taking a shower every day. Bad for your skin. Dries it out real bad. Yeah, that's what I figured. That's it. I know string has something for. I mean, the other option is like making it go through the entire string, like index at a time, and copying it over. Right, so it's like, I guess technically it'd still do the same. Like you would do. Oh wait, right, I didn't. Oh, it's return. Yeah, shampoo every time makes your body overproduce them. But the shampoo one also like takes a. It's a bit of a caveat thing because like it kind of just depends on the scalp. Like for instance, I can't like I mean I to be fair at most I wash my hair like it'll either be 2 times a week or 3 times a week with how I shower. But like I can't skip a day. If I do, my dandruff gets like really really bad because my scalp's just always really dry and nothing I've ever done works. And we've done a lot of testing over the years. There's a bit of a like a or stuff like that because like for instance my mom's like she'll shampoo her hair I think like once a week something like that. And like she's fine because she doesn't have like as dry of a scalp as I do. But for me, like if I do that, it just goes crazy. And I've tried it for like a long period of time to see if it's just a case of it re sometimes your body does things that make it seem like something's bad and then it's really just resetting itself and no, it gets so bad. Looks like a fucking snow globe if I shake my head. But yeah, you have to be really careful with stuff like that. It's just the case with everything though. So you gotta like kind of work with what you got and test things out. There's no real cookie cutter for how stuff like that works. That's why I don't like when people blindly follow like meal plans because everybody's body reacts differently to ingesting food. You gotta kind of find out what works for you. Same thing with like exercises in general. Python string method, upper if only uppercase character. Use this upper method to write a function. It takes a string with an argument. The function returns a new list containing only those items from the original character. Yeah, the human body be weird. Gotta kind of work with it. I think that was one of the reasons I was so adverse to like what is it? Because like when I was growing up, I've always been like fat. I like to eat too much, but and I always had to go to a nutritionist because I always had to get a when I had to do my physicals. Since I was growing up as a military kid, obviously I would go to military hospitals, and in military hospitals they'd be like, "All right, your son needs to go visit a nutritionist." So I had to do it like every year. Every year, the nutritionist, like I wouldn't really like change weight from one to the other, and every nutritionist would always give me something different that I was supposed to do to like lose weight, and it was such a sham. I think the only guy that ever gave me something was was uh was like he was just like, look, the big thing is you just need to eat less. So if you wanted advice to eat less, just drink like his advice is like drink like 2 full glasses of water before eating to fill up your stomach. Now that had other issues. Actually, if you know how like the gastric system works, you're actually not supposed to drink a lot of liquids prior or before eating or like while eating and even sometime after eating because depending on like your composition, you can dilute the stomach acids and it'll lead to like digestion problems for some people. Like it's pretty bad for my mom. For me, it's not so big of a deal. My body doesn't really care. But like my mom and I think my brother is like that. And then I have a cousin that's also like that. So, but it was like sound advice compared to everything else I'd been given. And then now it's just the point of just like I just eat less. I just don't eat. I don't generally eat on days I don't work out, which is every 3 days. Like I won't eat lunch. I'll eat dinner. So like for instance, today is one of those days. I've not eaten and I'm sitting here like starving, somehow barely focusing on this, but I've gotten used to it because I've been doing this for like I think this is like the 3rd month I've done it. To be fair, I got a little derailed with Christmas because food. I'm just like, dog, all this shit tastes too good and I ain't letting it go to waste. And if I left it up to my parents, like we wouldn't have gotten through it before stuff went bad. It's also kind of hard to stick to the stuff because like my mom tends to make a lot of food pretty often, and like it's at a pace where like I don't eat a decent amount of it, uh, it'll go bad. Because I've tried to leave them stuff, and then every time I'll always have to like toss it out because it goes bad because I just don't eat it fast enough. So I now have a thing where I was like, I'll leave it in the fridge for like 2 days. Nobody eats it, it's mine. Okay, so it needs to cycle through the list. So we need a new list. New list. And then for my list, if uh, strings upper false. I don't know why I read ruined the list as proud list for a second. Rules. Yeah, upper, lower, other, lower. Work is cringe. You don't want to go? Yeah, but someone's got to pay for the internet and electricity that you use on all the wool grinding. You got this, Slickster. Just think of the continued capability, the gotcha. Let that fuel you. Have you been doing any PoE2 though? I mean, I forgot I was gonna ask that earlier. Are you waiting for like the next big update? Archive wiped? Oh right, I saw you playing that for streaming it for a bit.
Hippity hoppity, you are you is my property.
No, I'll get your own newbies. I need them for the studying, for the coding. Yeah, flower, another lower capitalized. Yeah, this one is, to be honest, this one was easy because we used the is numerical version of is upper in my Grand Blue calculator to check if something's an integer. Right? Alright, given a list of integers, let's decide that two consecutive items in the list are neighbors. If their difference is 1, items 1 and 2 would be neighbors. So would items 56 and 55. Please write a function named longest series of neighbors, which looks for the longest series of neighbors within the list and returns its list. The list 1, 2, 5, 4, 3, 4. The longest list of neighbors would be 5, 4, 3, 4. The length of 4. Got a joke for you. Want to hear? I'll hear. Whether you'll get a chuckle or not is debatable. But hit me with the Goku. What do you got? This will line up your joke privileges for the rest of your life. By the way, so no need to be nervous. I don't even write this. Like I understand the concept of it. I'm trying to figure out like I needed to keep track of The longest list of characters. I don't know, Goku. What do you call them? Honestly, we're already them joke privileges are already kind of shaky off the rip. Yeah, the prune less one. Look, I'm gonna rewind time, pretend I didn't read that, and then be happier with my recovered brain cells. So good news, Goku. You haven't lost joke privileges. Bad news. I've never read your joke. It's a win-win. We all win. You get to tell more jokes in the future. I get to keep my sanity and brain cells. Yeesh. Uh, Intelligent. I'll give you one more shot. I'll give you an extra shot for today, and then it goes on cooldown till tomorrow. And you redeem yourself, Goku. This is your redemption arc in anime. What? What do you call them? All right, that one was actually mildly funny. That one would be allowed. That actually made me chuckle a little bit. Wait, so we need to make it. We'll just call it neighbors. Yeah, that one made me chuckle a little bit. So the council will allow that one. That was actually a decent little one. I'm surprised it picked it up. My mic's not that close to my face. Sometimes when it doesn't pick up, it catches me off guard when I go back in a VOD. Oh yeah, that that one was just the timing on that was so impeccable. Oh, that was so good. It was just it was more like a whole lead up because we were talking about something. He threw out a pun about Bearcore being fishy, and then Twitch in response just crashed for him. I was just like deserved. It's deserved. That was good. It was kind of a more of like you had to be there kind of moment. Hmm. So it'll be well, this one. We'll start it with 0. All right, we'll initialize it there. That way, if for and unless if minus one. What's the difference, Goku? This one's back with the closet one. Shaking my head. Shaking my head. I am is not going to be rewound because that was not as bad as the closet one, but you used up your quota for the day. So now you have to wait till tomorrow. Can't make dirty jokes. You can. They just have to be up to my like standards. You're kind of like a little shit out of luck because I have like a friend who all he ever did was just dirty jokes the whole time. So stuff like that would normally have made me laugh like 6, 7 years ago. Now it's like I had to hear so much of it over the years that now it's like they've got to be a pretty good one. Like the deadbeat one was pretty good. Uh, see. Uh, neighbors that. See you next one. Last one. All right, last one for the day. Last one for the day. Go. Can you redeem yourself again? Yeah, yeah. Good. Bear puns, dog. Those get me. Those like you want to throw people out the door. Why was the snowman smiling, Goku? I never know what to expect. That one's pretty good. That one's pretty good. That one's actually pretty good. Yeah, that one actually was pretty funny. So that's one that'll make me laugh. Yeah. To me, like I'm not gonna lie. All right. To me, like I consider a good dirty joke one that like you say it and like someone who's like innocent would just wouldn't understand. They'd be confused. They'd be like, what is a snowblower? But then like someone who understands would be like, that was pretty good. Those are the type of dirty jokes I tend to like nowadays. just because I've been so exposed to like the outright just in your face ones for so long, then like I guess like I'm desensitized. So I'm just kind of like it's okay, like that's fine. But if it's like creative ones like that one, I'll generally get a good laugh out of them. So if that equals one, we'll append the number to the neighbors list. Else, neighbors equals um. The problem here though is that we have to keep track of the length uh of the number. So I don't think a for loop with this would work. Oh, it could work. I just have to keep track of the length. So initialize that as 0. And then here we'll do length equals length of neighbors. Okay. Then in here, like if length is greater length. No, I think I might have to like put it in its own separate thing. Like if length is greater than length of neighbors. Okay, so we have the length being initialized with 0. We have the number list starting with the very first number, or the very first index of that number. And then when so the goal of this is the way this should work, right? Is it'll take the absolute value, so that way it'll take away the negative of number of whatever number we're starting, which we're starting from this first index, which is technically the second number in the list. And then it'll subtract it to the last number of number list. And if that equals 1, it will append the number that we have to the neighbors list. Then it'll check if length is less than the length of this list. And if that's true, it will then change length to equal the length of the list. So this way, oh, and then if it's, if it doesn't reach this, it'll reset the list of neighbors to have the first value be the number, like the next number. So technically, for instance, we're gonna try the very first one because we'll know what the answer is for that. Like, and it's kind of really easy to test. But if you do like 1, 2, 5, it'll be like, okay, starts with like neighbors. The list starts with 1. It takes 2, subtracts 1 minus 2, takes the absolute value of that, which is 1. That should be true. Then so it'll append 2 to the list of neighbors. Then when it goes to 5, it'll be like, well, 2 minus 5, the absolute value of 2 minus 5 equals 3, but doesn't equal 1. So it'll go down the if. Well, I guess we could like tie the if into this, right? Because I don't really want it. Like it won't really have to run that length thing if it's restarting the list. It's one less check it would have to do. So then it'll check if it's the equal to that, right? So with 1, minus 2. The absolute value of -1 is 1, so that should be correct, which then it'll append 2 to the neighbors list, which for a second there looked like I wrote it wrong. And then it'll check the length or basically it'll check the value of length against the length of the list of neighbors, and if it is smaller than the list, it'll then update the length to be that length of the list, because what we want to know is not what occurs not the exact series. We just want to know what the longest series number is. So it doesn't matter. Like if length is 4, right? Like say it resets. Like for instance, length will be 2 technically. When it's 1 2. When it resets to 5, right? Because you're gonna go to 1 2 and then 5. It'll run through. It'll be like, all right, 5 is now like the number. And then we'll have to see how. I mean, I'll have to see how it works. I'm assuming the way it'll work, it'll just go to 4. It'll like it won't matter, like it won't do anything here because it'll be like, all right, 5 4 is not less than, it's equal, so they're both at 2, length of 2. But then when it goes to 5 4 3, it'll be, that's the general gist of it, right? It's a lot of yapping, but it's basically how it works, or it should work. I don't know if I wrote it right. I might have written it wrong, but it's fine. So then do my list. My stomach is really starting to be like, dog, why have you not eaten? What are you doing? Like, calm down. You have another 2 hours. You'll be fine. You'll survive. You'll make it through. My room is so fucking cold though. Oh. um. Maybe if I make it return something. Maybe. Okay, so that works. But I'm pretty sure it does what I wanted it to do. Because I'm pretty sure we put it here to print neighbors. Right. Valid syntax. Oh, it's because it's between the if and the else. I'd have had to put it like down here. Yeah, so it does this, right? It goes 1 2, because it checks and it goes, okay, these are that. Then it checks 2 to 5 and goes, well, 2 to 5 does not have a difference of 1. So it'll now set 5 as the starting value, and then it goes to 4, and then it goes, okay, 5 to 4, 1, 4 to 3, 3, 4, 3 to 4, 4, and then like that's it. And then it takes the length, and then always feels nice when I can get these. We're gonna test it with the longer number. It should still work just fine though, because it works exactly how I was expecting it to work down here. Seven, 6, 5. Yeah, so this is what I meant earlier. Like the first one was a bad example because it wouldn't reset, like it wouldn't change the list after getting the second list going. But in this one, right, if you look over here, it's 1 2, which is the absolute value of the difference is 1. So that makes the list 2. But then when it goes from 2 to 7, obviously the difference is 5, so it's not going to work. So then it goes 7 to 6, and it's like, all right, that checks out. 6 to 5 checks out. 5 to 6 checks out. Then it goes 6 to 3, doesn't check out, so it resets the list. But since we have this here, it won't mess with the length until this list is longer than the previous list. And that was the part that was tripping me up like early on when I first looked at it. I was like, how am I going to have it keep track of the length of the list and not reset itself? And the answer is, well, you initialize a length variable to keep track of that, and then you make sure that it doesn't change outside of specific parameters. And that's how it works. And that's what we did here. We went, well, if the actual length variable is less than the length of this list, then make that the new length. If not, the code just checks. It goes, it's not less than. Who cares? Moves on with life. Easy. That's break time. I just realized I was doing so well, and then I forgot I didn't set the timer. I caught it because I like looked at my ad break time, and it's like an 8 minute. So we're in steady break time. It's fine. I was on a roll there anyway. I wouldn't have wanted to stop regardless, but we're only like 2 minutes. But yeah. Yeah, I like the MOC for the way they have you handle like the exercises they give you are really good in my opinion. I like the more I do it, the more I kind of like sit down and feel that if you're gonna learn Python, you'd use both the MIT OpenCourseWare and the MOOC, but I suggest starting with the MIT one. Because honestly, like while going through the, not, to be fair, it's also a little hard to say because I also started working on side projects before I started doing the MOOC one. So a lot of like what they taught me was stuff I already figured out on my own, aka like with Google and then with like input from people who know what they're doing that would stop by. So like I don't know, maybe the for other people the MOOC would probably be better, like to just do first or go. Because like the MIT has, it's just I feel like the MIT has a lot of like theoretical things that they teach you how something like the back end of how something works, and then the MOOC exercises are really good for you kind of like connecting those thoughts together and be like, oh, so that's why over there they said it was this, and then over here when you actually like do it. Because I really like the exercises for the MOOC a lot better, minus like two of them. I'm so hungry. I'm gonna go steal some of Slinkster's soup at this rate since he's like off to work. Oh, it's also kind of funny because what was it? There's a I don't usually follow a bunch of art streams. Like basically, if I watch someone do art, it's because like I knew them from something else or like whatever. I don't usually follow a lot of art streamers, but there's one that I do follow that sometimes I stop by, and I never knew this, but apparently they know about Granblue, as I stopped by I think yesterday, and I saw that they had drawn Tiamat, like the pose that she does in the playable, like the first like form of the playable version. I was like, oh, Tiamat, I know that Leonardo DiCaprio gif here. It was a nice little surprise. It was really really well sketched. Like you look at it, you're like, oh, that's Tiamat. Like that's Tiamat from Granblue Fantasy Tiamat. Like at least if you've been a long time Granblue player, you would definitely recognize it every time. Oh, is Percy gonna die? Percy might die. Percy sometimes dies. Since I swapped to the axe, because we don't get the refresh effect. Oh, he's still alive, but he got swapped. Okay, tag team in. Oh, Aglavil's probably gonna die. So it's swapped. All right, I don't know. Well, I guess it might be a little small to be caught on stream. But Willness got swapped in for Michael, but his skills, like the top image, like swapped already. But his skill bar at the bottom that it shows, where it shows you like what skills they have that they haven't used yet, was still showing Michael's because it was still showing a buff button on skill 1, and Willness's buff is on skill 3. That's actually kind of funny. Oh, no, Agloville will live to see another day. Kind of funny to me. It means the skill uh doesn't change until your attack turn starts, even though the picture does. If the character gets swapped like that. Who was it? Hoshino? Let me see if I can go remember how to spell it. It's not when I like. Usually I'll stop by. Everyone. Oh, they are live. I don't know if they still have this. Yeah, they're still live. Check them out. Yeah, they draw a bunch of different stuff. They caught me off guard when I saw that they had when I saw that they had the TM out on drawn. They have a really good. Why are you giving me bows? I need guns. I have more bows than I know what to do with. Actually, not anymore. I reduced them all the other day. Yeah, they have to. Sometimes I'll just go and like lurk around and vibe. Because oftentimes like their schedules, the like our schedules don't line up. Because sometimes they tend to stream when I stream, and then sometimes they'll start up when I'm like going to bed or like doing other stuff. So they have really good sketches. Which, to be fair, I'm saying the reason I even know of this person is because of Desk Dancho. I have another person I know from streaming where they mostly do art, and I don't remember how I stumbled upon them. Uh, but our friendship grew from both of us playing Granblue, which I don't think they play Granblue too much nowadays. I'll have to go tell her that Coco is out so that she can. But he was like a dark primal lug before Orologia released. I'm trying to save up points because if I remember right, I don't know if they still have it. I think they had like a like Dusk had a sketch redeem, and I wanted to save up and have her like sketch redeem a bear. And originally it was gonna be a bear in the berserker like outfit, like job outfit. But no, I think I might do the Viking one instead. It's just I thought it was gonna be funny to just have a bear with like the wolf like helmet on with the armor. I just thought it'd be funny. All right, break time's over. I remember my timer's on. Yeah, also pro tip. Usually when break time ends is when ads are gonna start. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hopefully no more no Mr. who shall not be named ads. Don't want to say his name anymore because I know YouTube's gonna give me another like 30 ads in a row of just stupid stuff. Fourth part culminates in a slightly larger programming project. If we ain't talking like 100 plus lines, I ain't want to hear it. I don't think any side project I've done so far has been less than like 100 something lines. I think both of them are over the like the 150 mark, and they're not done. Is color to go out of smaller sections, helper function each part. Max to try to handle. Most likely only chaos ensues. chaos. Every time I see the word chaos, it just makes me want to play the Final Fantasy game that the Team Ninja, the guys that did like Neo and Ninja Gaiden made. Because then it's just like chaos. It was actually a pretty fun game. It's just that that game's like gameplay loop was tied around you basically new game plussing it. It was pretty short, but I enjoyed it. Here, way of testing inside the main. Calling this function from follow up for testing. Oh, this is actually kind of. Now the helper function can be tested without running the main function. Determining the grade base. Your program. The program contains multiple functions. The question arises: how do you pass data from one function to the other? Ask the user for some integer value. Program. The number in and identify like all together. Greatest is the main function inputs equal current result input analysis. Program to execute. Type in 5 number 134. Main functions process. So basically what I've been trying to do over here, right? Where like I need to like cut this up. Like this needs to be completely rewritten, but trying to to thin this out so that and like make it so that it's the least amount of inputs are necessary in this, so that it'll just make the list and they can add to it as they go. And then that way, if something like bricks here, you can kind of just piece it back together by checking out like what function it's put to. Main function saves old data processed. In this case, all that is needed. If the input is needed in a class, does it? stored in a very function. Why is global state so evil? Using global state with your fellow programmers is like using the same toothbrush with your friends. You can, but you never know when someone will decide to show it up as bum. That's a comment in response to someone asking why global states are bad. Using global variables are bad. It's funny. They're unpredictable. Imagine you have both use their module. The output method can be predicted and therefore tested. However, if a method in one of the objects triggers a side effect which changes the value, predict what output you'll get. Test it. When I sound all this here, the unit test code is got some very serious different class data and that changing its state or destroying it in the processor class executes populator on the result is the processor class. The data structure the populator then predict further code as an external dependency explicitly alternatives exist. Possible. Never be referenced by relying on scoping rule. Particular object needs a particular explicitly ask for it by having dependency and ability to pass on that you can take advantage of it needs and where it's coming from. Also has huge benefits for flexibility. Therefore, the then and change code block given as a every code process. Typical associated code of a mod shouldn't care where state process. You pass state into a that isn't the case. There are plenty of other reasons passing state. There's by no means comp. Write an entire book on why global state is bad. And then the rest of the comments are just nitpicking. So basically, I mean, I don't know. I guess is like, I kind of understand where some people are coming from. Like, people, basically, it's a big. This is pretty nice. The MOC like linked out to, I guess, like a little question spot. I guess I should. Uh, Kind of like something that's like similar to Stack Overflow for people asking questions. So some guy was asking why are global variables being used inside of a function like bad instead of just having it called. In my opinion, the biggest reason I don't see a point in like pushing against it is simply because you are literally just writing a word one less time. Like realistically speaking. Like, does it really matter if like here, for instance, I don't put year? I mean, it would here because it changes because this isn't a constant variable. But like, is it really that big of a deal if you just have to write year one more time here if you're gonna use it in this block of in this function? No, not really. Like, it doesn't really detract or add anything in efficiency. And then if for whatever reason someone wants to use, I guess like you could just label like put in the docstring like read only, like year and list name are like, you know, read only variables or whatever. But like if for whatever reason the data that's getting pulled gets changed from read only to something else, or I don't know, maybe they decide that's a more efficient route, like it's just gonna fuck with things really badly. And then if you ever want something changed in here, and it's just like, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just a case like, I don't know why. Like, I don't personally understand why people have an issue with it because it's like, but then again, I've been like dealing with computers, and it's in my brain. As soon as someone is like, I go, well, why do I need to write that? as a variable, as like an argument getting passed into this function, and someone tells me because it causes less problems in the long run, I'm like, all right, cool, done. I don't really need another reason. Like that's literally the only reason I need to know, because computers are such a pain in the ass that anything like just like if all I have to do is write it one more time, because you're gonna write it in here anyway, right? Like if I don't ever put year in here, like these other functions won't be able to run. Like you just won't be able to run them. And it's like you're writing it down anyway, just write it one more time. But then again, this is also why like didn't have me teaching these sorts of things. But it's just like I don't know, like to me it makes sense, right? Like especially when it's just like readability, stuff like that. Because if it's like if you're trying to use something from someone else, right? And like say this wants the year and the list name so it can check, because the way the list I'm creating in this script is it uses the year plus to find the folder it's saved in, and then the list name to find the list, because that's how it works. It goes the name of the folder, which to be fair, I'm gonna probably like like change this make directory um function that I made to be a bit more universally usable. Where is it? Where's the make director? Wait, is that part of the no directory? Um, it's like why is there? It doesn't make no sense. The rocks that we did weird black magic called Scientology. What is themselves? Oh, that reminds me of what is it? The old Martin Lawrence movie, Black Knight, right? Where he goes back in time and he just pulls out his lighter. It's like, I made fire. That gave me that kind of vibe. I mean, like to me, like I have like a general understanding of computers. They use like electrical signals and ones and zeros to do all the other stuff. But it's just like I don't know. Like if I take a function from someone, right? Let's say for whatever reason I'm like, hey, Rook, I need this function. Pass it to me. And he passes it to me, and like it uses a global variable in here, which I doubt his would. Well, actually, to be fair, I don't know how it would work because I don't know how different C is from Python for that stuff. But if I take a function like a function and I see that it wants like one variable, my expectation is that this is the only thing it needs, right? To be pulled in from outside of its source. So then when it bricks, my reaction is my like instinct is going to be look here, see what's being called, and then go see what it's being called from and see what the problem is over there. Because my assumption is going to be, oh, I probably, wrong data type, wrong thing or whatever. Like I mean, I probably won't inherently go straight for it. And like to be fair, like a block like this isn't like too bad to read through, right? Like you just look at it, it's like a couple lines. But when they start getting like longer and stuff, and you start getting, I'm assuming there's definitely and this is just functions. Like if it's a class, it's even more stuff to read through. Like I don't know, I just feel like I don't understand why sometimes people have like the weirdest pushbacks. It's like, no, I don't want to write that variable more than just the one time on that function, even though I'm going to write it again inside of the function anyway. Like, put it in there. Stop being lazy. This is why like I don't. What is it? I don't like it when I was looking up, right, where it's like when someone says getting something done efficiently is for lazy people. I don't like when they say that. It's for efficiently lazy people. It is because like when it comes to people that are lazy, there's like two types. There's just people that are lazy, just like full lazy, right? Like they don't even want to do anything. And then there's those of us that we're lazy because we don't like doing things inefficiently, and we'll be like, nah, I'm good. When you get like someone like that who like they don't like doing things inefficiently, so it seems like they're lazy because they want to get the most amount of effort, the most amount of, you know, payout with the least amount of effort because efficiency. Like, it's really funny because it's like a tightrope of some people be like, oh, they're being efficient, other people now they're just being lazy, and it's like depends on your view on things. For coding, it's like a lot of it was just like, yeah, it's for it's what is it? There's literally one. It's like a resource. It's like something about like lazy or something like that with coding. I forget, but it's a bit of a misnomer. If you're doing coding and then you're literally going, I don't want to write this word one more time in my function, so that way I know where the like what variables are getting pulled, like what arguments are getting pulled into my function. Like there, you're just lazy. You're not being efficient. Even if that variable doesn't get changed at all whatsoever, like in my opinion, you're just being lazy. Because should anything ever break, you now need to spend more time reading through the function to be like, what's getting pulled from where? Like, I don't know. Especially if it's getting like moved to something else. I don't know. For me, it's like a case of like, it's like, well, why should I do it? It's like because there's no reason not to. In all honesty, there really isn't a reason not to, except for the fact that you just don't want to write those letters more than once, like more than like however many times you're gonna write it in the function anyway. Which even then, that's what the copy paste feature on your fucking computers for. Like, I don't know. Some people are just lazy just to be lazy. Because like for instance, I'm generally a procrastinator, but usually when it comes to work, it's more because like if I like look at something, look at how it's being done, and then realize that there's like a more efficient way of doing it, if I don't have to do it, I won't. Right? Like if I don't have to do whatever it is at all, if I can like pass it off to someone else, I'll just be like, lied. That's your problem. But if it's in my like purview and I have to do it, like I obviously retool it to be more efficient because I don't want to do more work than I have to. With caveats. With caveats. If it gets me out of other work, maybe I'll take a little longer. But generally, like it's just it's not always for everything. There are some things I'm like a procrastinator on, right? Like organizing my room and shit. Like, well, again, it kind of falls down to things like if I use it on a daily basis, I like know where it is, and it might look like a mess, but I know what's there. If I don't use it on a daily basis, I got no idea. That shit's like in a corner, chilling, until I have to go find it because I'll randomly need it like a couple months later. But yeah, I don't know. Like sometimes it's just weird to me when you're like because one thing would be you're asking this question and someone tells you just like right like my answer is like well there's no reason not to. That's not really a good question for someone who's like wants to know why something should be done, right? Like and realistically speaking, that's like a terrible way to respond, especially to like a beginner, because you're not giving them foundational knowledge that they need to, which will extrapolate as they keep learning. But some guy had a really well written out thing, and then as I read it, I was like, oh shit, this like I kind of understand why you don't do these things, even though I kind of already understood why. And it was like, but he had it really well written out, and there are still people in there. They're like, well, that doesn't include to this, and it's like, you're just nitpicking just to nitpick. You're a bum. Shut up. Sit in your corner. Banned from writing. Because there's also just people that just like to nitpick because they just don't want to be wrong. Because I mean, the guy asking the question did set some parameters. Like he was like, oh, it's in the case of like read only, right? Something that's going to be a constant. It's like, well, like where like whatever information is getting pulled will be a constant and it won't get changed. Well, the simple solution to that is you don't know if someone's going to change that code to where that's no longer a constant. Like, and if that happens, then you're running the chance of your entire code just falling apart when they do that. Which I guess you could caveat it or like put in the things of like do not change these values to like not be read only. But then at that point, it's like, you know, is it really worth doing then? Because at least like it seems like from my understanding from like the current state of coding is like they're at least trying to promote a function of getting people used to doing a thing that should some value be changed, it doesn't just completely cause the code to fall apart, or like what you have to like write isn't as much of an issue. And it's just like to me it makes sense. Like I have an associate's degree in computers and I deal with like command line shit and like the amount of hoops you have to jump through on command line is so annoying. So like going into coding again and like seeing all the stuff they have for like efficiency and how, just doing these things, right? Like just the simplicity of like writing a function means instead of having to write this whole thing 6 times, I just have to write these like 7 letters 6 times. Like fucking a dream over here. Feels great. I don't know. It's weird. Like it's not bad to ask why. I just don't like when people like nitpick for no reason. All right. That was a bit of a sidetrack. That was installed by the MLSE course, so I'm not gonna go back. Now we go back to reading it. It's also kind of interesting because like it's like what they're saying in here is you turn this body, this code block, into a function in and of itself that you call towards the end called main, and that way you just comment it out while you're working on like the functions, like all the helper functions, which is all of these. That would work. It's kind of interesting because I've kind of done something similar, and the fact that when I try to like when I try to make sure like this shit works together, I move like I open a new thing and I piece together my modules that I'm gonna test to make sure they work in conjunction with each other and stuff. Which I guess depending on like what you're doing is probably like one is this their way might be slightly faster and more efficient than my way, but sometimes not really because then I have to like you know slide through a bunch because sometimes the like one function that's getting used is like all the way up here and then another one's like all the way down here, but I don't want to like change the order because I have a weird order in it in my head. To me it makes sense and it's good enough. Like for instance, I'll probably end up reorganizing the functions, but I want like all of the functions to be like if it's directory stuff, they're all in the same general areas that you can see, like make directory, find directory, delete directory, all those functions be in the same area. If it's make a list, find a list, delete a list, all of that, I'd like that to be in the same area, stuff like that. So that way when if you're looking for something like list related, you find that. If you're looking for something directory related, you find that. File related, you find that, etc., etc. But then sometimes one will pull from another one, right? Like list, like making name doesn't really go with any of those, right? Because I would, and I might have that one at like the top of like the function list, and then I'm trying to work with like making the name for a file down towards the bottom, and so instead of just like scrolling up and down, I'd rather just pull out the fucking functions, use them on a separate like thing, and just make sure they work together. Passing data into and out of function. I'll separate the implicit main over local. All right, write a program for printing out grade statistics for university course. The program asks the user for results from different students on the course. These include exam points and number of exercises completed. The program then prints out statistics based on the result. Exam points are integers. type, empty line. That's fine. Exercise completed, converted into exercise, completing at least 10%. All 100 and is granted as also an exam cutoff threshold didn't receive. Oh shit. Regardless of their total number of points. That's ugh. Ugh. I would not want to take that class. With the example of random hololive fun fact. Apparently Fubuki, the crazy fox shit, spent 6 hours rolling 8d6 and she got all the same number on all 8 die. Like real ones or like simulator? Oh, was she mimicking the was she what is it? Is that from Squid Games or whatever? I've been seeing a couple of shorts from people doing stuff like that. Like some dice game or something. That came I don't know, that's the number she managed to get 5. I think 8 and yeah, so she got yeah. Never forget. Never forget. That's actually pretty funny. You have to first split input line to the sections into putting that. So we'll chop the input. Oh, so it just puts it on the spaces, huh? All right, because oh right, we covered it loosely in MIT in the MIT course where it's how to turn a string into a list. Hmm. Ah, so I need to make a program. Ask for results from course. And it'll keep asking you until You just input an empty string. And then after that, it prints the statistics. So we'll start with the asking, which is a while loop, and then we'll just go from there. And we'll try the main thing. So in here, it'll be hmm. That goes at the end, right? Yeah. Also pretty lucky to get it. Only 6 hours because of theoretical probability. 1 in 179,936. 3 days and 6 hours straight to reach the theoretical probability. That's our gotcha fox. That's our gotcha fox. It's kind of funny because like the first Fubuki video I ever watched, I feel like I didn't my first introduction to Fubuki was not what most people's was. It was a random like snippet of one of her Arc Knight gotcha streams from like way back, like before Hololive Eon debuted. And I was like, oh hey, that's me when I gotcha. And that led me down the rabbit hole. Hmm. A single. Oh, because I put a regular bracket. No. Hmm. I guess I can't do that. What if I do? That doesn't work either. No, that doesn't work either. Hmm. I wanted to save the independent list. Because I needed to save the numbers differently. Hmm. No, that's not gonna save it all. I think it has to be to the F string, but how? Hmm. I'm trying to. I can do what I want it to do. Yeah, because you can't initialize a string as a variable, but then. Hmm. The problem is I have to keep track of the scores. I can't like lose the scores, but then I don't know how to save them for each individual person. I mean, I guess technically I don't have to do all of that. this. I have to turn it into a list. Um, I'll have to do greater than 10. Greater than or equal to. Accidentally hit the full screen. Or equal to 10. What else do I need to do that? Oh, Snick. Hello. How have you been? Hopefully your week's off to a good start. Had the tail end of a cold or nar. At least it's the tail end. Hopefully it didn't last too long. To do the for loop either because I don't need it to check every time. I just needed to check that because if it's less than that, then they fail the class. Just period. I guess I have to like initialize over here. I can't do that. Hmm. I have to do a grade list. Oh wait, no, because I don't have to actually keep. Okay, never mind. I don't have to keep track of that. So the score list is fine. We'll do a grade list here. Oh, break time. I'm slowly figuring out how to write this. It took a second to try to figure out the like the direction for it to go. Because I need to make this take different functions. Yeah. Oh, I can just do that, right? I can just make it uh up here. Or like just be here where it's like if this it'll call a function else. Oh no, I gotta stop. I mean I'll write this now. This doesn't count as cheating. This doesn't count as cheating. Alright, we'll stop there. We'll stop there. It doesn't count as cheating. It was only like a minute. I had to get that out. I didn't want to forget that. Because I think this will just be the main function, and then we can write the other functions in for the other stuff. Because from here it'll have to take in the point average, the pass percentage. We have to add the exercise points to the test score. I'm assuming the way that I want that to work. Number of exercise points rounded as an integer value. That means 8.7 rounded down is 8 is 23. Yeah, so that'll work. Yeah, that explains. All right. Wait, no, it's like, yeah, no, because completing 10 gets you 1 point. So you just need to divide the number by 10. All right, I'll stop. Like, I hate it. The breaks always line up when like things start clicking. So I don't take breaks when I work. When I do stuff, I don't take breaks. Specifically because a lot of times the tempo for when I usually like the quote unquote proper time to take breaks, it lines up with when I like have epiphanies and realize like what I need to do to get it done. And then it's just like, well shit, now I hope I don't forget it. Like taking the break. I was notoriously bad for not taking my breaks when I was working at the data entry. I was supposed to have a 15-minute break every hour. And since I was only part-time, I could only work like 4 hours. I just worked 4 hours straight. I wouldn't take a break. I'd take probably a bathroom break here and there. It would just be like, you don't take breaks? I'm like, no, I got shit to do. We take breaks. I wouldn't take breaks, and then I wouldn't take most of the time off from the. There are these like quote unquote certification courses. Is what I like talk to them. Uh, or it's like what we called them. It wasn't really a certification. It was like work certification, I guess. There was like a quiz you had to take because there was supposed to be something you read through, and then it was supposed to be like, all right, this is worth like an hour, this is worth like 2 hours, and you were supposed to log that as like work time and not like show up to work for that. So like if I did something for like did one of the things and it was like technically 2 hours, I was supposed to take like 2 hours off of a shift. I never did that. I kept turning them in, and it was really funny because I just never took time off. And so when I went to like resign as we were moving, they were just like, you have like 2 weeks of just work hours that you never like PTO that you never took. I was like, oh, unfortunate. Luckily enough, when I like went to resign, it lined up with that. If they like basically what they did, they just gave me those 2 weeks of extra work, like PTO as just like work days, and they're just like, here, your last day here is like the beginning of next month because it kind of like lined up nicely. I got like 2 extra weeks of paychecks for not having to do anything, which was nice. Technically, I did do it before. I was just cashing out later. No piss. I mean, I don't really have to go to the bathroom all that often. I have a very functioning system. Like, I'll drink a bunch of water and I'll be good. Like, usually when I have to like go to the bathroom midstream, it's usually because I ate lunch just before stream. And like my body has this weird thing that when I break my fast, right, from like when I last ate dinner, I usually have to go to the bathroom like an hour after that. It's usually I didn't eat breakfast going to school because most teachers were like, what do you mean you have to go to the bathroom? School just started. And it's like, yeah, and I have to take a shit. Unless you want me to take it in this chair, I need to go to the bathroom. And then, so instead of having to argue with the teacher, I just stopped eating breakfast. Problem solved. Then I would have to argue with the teacher after lunch, but then it made sense because they're like, well, you did just eat lunch. And it's like, exactly. Must be nice. To be fair, it wasn't always like this. My gastronomy was kind of messed up for a while. Used to have to go to the bathroom a lot, but I found things that worked for me, so it's kind of back in where it needs to be. It's a power move. It was an open promise that was going to be executed. Usually did a pretty good job of getting the point across to the teacher. I feel like, well, unless you want to call the janitor to pick to like have to clean up after the mess I'm about to make, I'd like to be able to go to the bathroom. And they would usually be like, okay, fine. And I'd like speed waddle down the hallway and then come back later. That's probably one of the nice things about university. Walk into lecture, be like, oh, I need to go to the bathroom. Walk out of lecture, nobody cares. Actually, I think I had like one professor once who would stop people sometimes. Like if they did it too often, he would just be like, he'd just casually be like, are you all right? As in a way of like, is there something wrong with the class? And usually the person would be like, no, I'll just go to the bathroom. And I'd be like, okay. But most of my professors didn't care. Most of the courses I took in university were pretty big, like lecture hall courses. So half the times the professor wouldn't even know who was there anyway. But yeah, no, I don't know why. Like, it wasn't too big of a deal in like high school and like the high schools I went to, but in the schools I went to in Virginia, the teachers just didn't like letting the students go to the bathroom. And it's like, do you want me to take a dump here? Like, brother. Meanwhile, when I was one of the high schools I went to, there was a one of the teachers, which was the history teacher that I had in the morning. Um, she had a like a bathroom pass system where you had to take if you were going to the bathroom, you had to take the the little like stuffed animal horse heads on a stick. Yeah, she had a bunch of those, and it was great. She had a unicorn one. That's the one I always took. And once like you took that class, from then on, everyone's just like, ah, that's why. All the freshmen were always just like, what the fuck? Whenever you'd see someone from that class like walking past to go to the bathroom. Meanwhile, we'd be like, you're just jealous. You wish you had one of these, but you don't because you suck. I do ever fully like that. I don't even. I took the double debuff success, and I don't know if she needs it or not. I don't think she does. It was pretty funny though. Some of us would actually like, yeehaw down the hallway with it. May or may not. I can neither confirm nor deny if I was that individual. I think. And yeah, was he still? Oh, supplement skill damage. Yeah, it's pretty good. Guess I get it. Probably help her damage a little bit more. Probably give her HP. Anyway, break time's over. So get these guys back to grinding. So I was just checking the EMP on those dudes out. I just went straight to the raid list. We have this, and then we can go beat up Tefnet. But yeah, my high schools were relatively interesting. The two I went to. All right, so the grade list, we'll keep track of that. Then it'll keep track of. Then we can use the grade list for average and all that later. So then we need to write a function where it takes the I guess we'll call it total points. And it'll take in scores. So it'll be like the temp scores. It'll just put the temp scores in, and then the scores will get back to the. Okay, now I understand how they want us to do this. I was trying to figure out how to like do it some like other weird way, and then my brain went stop, pull it back, figure it out. This I think I need to pass, isn't it? Make sure this works. Oh, uncomment that. Yeah. Right, so does that just split it into two integers already without me having to tell it to? Probably 20. Oh, so I want to make sure this part works. All right, so it's not actually splitting into a list. Hmm. Why not? All right, I didn't want. Okay, so it works here. But why didn't it work? Does it need to be up here too? Is that why? Yeah, that's yeah, because since I pass in an empty list here, it empties it there. Hmm. Which means this isn't written properly then. I mean, I guess I could just like initialize the value of like just make this like technically a blank list. But, like technically make it like a list with something just without at the same time without having something. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that works. We stop that. Do I have to cast this as it? I don't think so, right? Oh, I know what I have to do. Man, you're such a pain in the ass. Gave it the curly brackets instead of the parentheses. Yeah, that's what I have to do. I guess, well, I think I can do both, right? Oh, wait, actually, I don't need to do it like that. That should work too, right? Yeah, that works fine. Okay, so we know that works. We can test this other block later. Change works. Hmm. That changed something. Because the previous time we ran it, it still just did 2210. Oh, it's because I had this. I have this in the loop. Yeah, and then that way it just skips over making appending to the list. So that way it doesn't just fill it with something random or anything like that. Let's see. So the main block should be fine. I just need to write the code here. So this will be saved as integers. It'll be two integers. Total points is the points they got from the test score plus the amount of exercises they've done divided by 10. Because completing 10 exercises gives you 1 point. So if you've done 100, it's 10 points. So if you've done 80, it's 8 points. That's how you divide by 10. So then it should just be this should work. Is if temp or first uh integer, because we've converted them to integers, is greater than or equal to 10, it'll call the function for total points pass over temp score. Or no, it'll append to grade list. So what we want it to do is that we want, because the point is that the caveat was that if they scored less than 10 points, they automatically failed. So we know that the grade for failing is 0. So if the first score, which is the exam score, is not greater than or equal to 10, it just appends 0 to the list. Then it'll, but if it is greater than or equal to 0, it'll want to append to the grade list by calling the function of total points, which then adds the exam score plus the exercise score divided by 10, or the amount of exercises divided by 10, adds them together, returns that total score, and then that gets appended to the grade list. The question is, I mean, I guess it's more efficient this way, but I feel like it might be better to just attach it to a variable and then append that variable instead. That's where like coding gets a little interesting for how you want to do it. Because there's like a couple there's some cases where there's no real right or wrong answer. You just kind of do what makes sense to you. So here, oh, I guess we can do grade. Grade makes sense because that's the grade that you're gonna get back. So with the way this works, this works the way I'm expecting it to work. Yeah. It's still not completely done because I need to make it be uh give it the specifications for the float, but the function works. It does what I want it to do. We still have to write, I think, like two more functions or three more. Because it needs to be in two. I think there was a float stipulation. Printed out with 1 decimal precision. Oh, that's a bit of a. I guess that'll be something we do at the end. Because like we don't actually print the list. This print here is just to make sure that it works as intended. It's for the, okay, yeah, no, it's because it's for the points average and the pass percentage. So it's all right. So we know this works. So the next function would be uh, but to be fair, I could have also just put a list in here to test it. Didn't have to like test it all the way out here, but I wanted to make sure all of this worked too with it. The next function would be it would have to take the point average. It would be right. Oops. Plus plus B. Or no, we'll do what? I guess I could do that, right? Oh yeah, I mean like it's just average equals some grade list divided by of how did I write that again? I said print here, print that, place grade list with an actual list of integers, like 10, 12, 20, 30. I guess I have to like actually just initialize the grade list inside. Or I could just default it. Oh, why? Why does it reach max recursion depth? Oh, because I think I'm having it call a function. Like I think I'm having it call a method on accident. What am I doing? Hello. Doing. Yeah, I had it. I think I had it accidentally calling a method that I didn't mean for it to call. Oopsies. I knew like I knew something felt off when it put like double parentheses there, and I was just like, ah, it's fine. No, that was not fine. Why did I put dot average in there? Hmm, weird. I guess my brain was like kind of messing with this. Okay, so that works as it should. So then after it breaks out of the while loop, we will have it needs to print statistics and print. I guess I mean I technically we could just have it print from here. But I think it'd be better just to have to return a value. But, oh, that's why. It's because my brain thought about grade average, which is what I named the function and not the list itself. That's why. Okay, that makes sense. Hmm. No, I want this to be a different function. I want it to be a print function. We'll worry about that later. We're gonna move on to we'll do the next one, which is pass percentage, then grade distribution. Then we'll do a print function that just prints it all. Also, it's kind of funny because like in my house, like we go to Costco, right? Or at least I go to Costco whenever my parents go. My parents go to a bunch of other stores, but I go to Costco with them. And like I'm always on the lookout for whenever they bring like Asian snacks and foods and stuff, and I'm always like grabbing it and trying them out. And when we last went, they had these like wheat cakes, which ended up they're from Thailand, but still they're delicious. And one was like a Hokkaido cream cake flavored, and then the other one was like this chocolate flavor. The chocolate one kind of mid. The cream one, I would, I'd cut somebody for it in game. But oh, it's so good, and it's so funny because like my parent, like I go with my mom, and she'll just be like, "Really?" I'll be like, "I mean, the price is fine, and it's like for this one in particular, it was like $13 for 12." I was like, "It's good enough." And we took it, and like my parents really, they've been eating through it. I think there's like three left. We bought it like barely a week ago. I'm like, you see, I gotta try new things. That's why you gotta try new things. It just cracks me up though, because they're kind of like sometimes a little adverse to trying out just like new weird stuff in general. That one I got it pretty feeling pretty confident that it was gonna be pretty good, and if it wasn't, I was like, it's bread. I'll eat it. But yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, this one's gonna be kind of tricky though. Actually, no, not really, because you just take the length of the grade list, divide 100 by it, and then just add that value for. Okay, yeah, no, that's never mind. Fine. Equals divided, and then what you'll do, right, is we'll take past equals 0 for grade list if grade is greater than or equal to 10. Past plus equals. Then it's past 10 equal 10 past turn past. Get the curly bracket. Past. And so what this should do, right, is it'll divide 100, which is 100%, by the length of the list, which in this case should be 4. We're just going to put this here, put this there, and what it'll do, and then we'll replace the 14 with like a 9. What it'll do is it'll keep track of a counter for how many people scored a test grade over the or how many people scored. Oh wait, no, actually it needs to be like a different. It needs to be no 4. Okay, so 14 still counts. Okay, my brain kind of confuses a little, like for the values, but it still counts. So passing, because it'll just pass to the grids, right? It'll take the scores, and then anything that's like over 14, like anything that's not 0 to 14, isn't a fail, basically. So the way it should work, so the 14 could stay. So it needs to be greater than or greater than 14, basically. So we'll just do like 16, 22, 17, and then 9. And basically with this, it like this should be divided by 4. There should be percent should equal 25. Then the past is 0, and then it looks at the grades in grade list. It checks if it's greater than 14, which if it is, then they pass. So that's plus equals 1 to pass. And then the past percent will equal percent times the past, like times the counter of the people that passed, which should return a 75. They returned nothing. Why? Because I didn't give it a print. Mellow, please. If you don't tell it to print, it's not going to return anything. Yeah, so we have a 75, so that works. Nice. Yeah, my biggest like stumbling block there was I was like, oh, how am I going to? Oh, the next one's gonna be a fucking doozy to do though. How am I going to how am I gonna do the percentage thing? But it's pretty easy. Once I stopped being like, how do I do that? My brain was like, wait a minute, Mello, come on now, you're not that dumb. Easy pickings, easy pickings. All right, so now what we need is grade distribution. This one's actually going to be a little. This one actually I might just have it print the thing out itself. Too many things with grade and I want to hit enter too quickly. Mm. Mm. This will have to be. No, okay, the way I'm thinking about it isn't gonna work. I don't want to do this. Like the thought process in my head was to have like a counter for grade that would count down, and then it would print that number at the beginning, and then it would like print like grade, which would pull the number, semicolon, like do a F string that'd be like grade that with asterisk times like another value, which I guess we could still do. Because what I was thinking about here is you'd have a list, right? And the list would keep track of how many. Oh, I could do it. Actually, it'd still work. It's just I wouldn't you would do it in the loop, right? So this if grade is if grade is greater than grade is to 30. No, because well, I mean, it's still probably work, but I'll just get used to doing pen. Hmm. I'll just call it symbol. Yeah, I figured it wasn't gonna work. Yeah, I didn't print it. Because at the very least, I should have printed out the grade part of it. So I'm not super sure why. Oh, it's because I have. Okay. It still didn't print out the grade part. Why not? Because it's 27. Like, what's telling me is, like, I feel like it's not going into this loop, right? Okay, so it pulls it there. Oh, mellow, it's 27. Fucking stupid. Oh, okay, so it's still this. I'm gonna have to do something else. I'm gonna have to do something. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to use a different thing. Well, to be honest, like, probably just concatenate. I'm gonna leave ground blue for a bit because I only have like a couple more minutes before the last break. Okay, here we go. On. Oh wait, no, because this is supposed to be length of list. Yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. It's like the general gist of how I want that to work. And then if I change this to 20, like 25, it doesn't do anything, which is a problem because I want it to print anyway. This is why this is an issue. Because the problem is that if I pull it out over here, white list isn't something it can pull because it's not in the, like it's outside of the loop. Hmm. That's why I'd been thinking instead of that, do like, I mean, it would still cause an issue here because I'm not going to get this done today. I have to get it done tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll still remember because there's like 30 seconds left. Problems. But yeah, it's pretty good. I like the exercises. I really do. I'm a big fan of the exercises for the MOOC, to be honest. Like they're really good for kind of getting your brain. They're really really good for putting stuff in there that you would think it's pretty straightforward to be a certain way, and then they throw in a like a curveball that kind of breaks your code, and you're just like, oh, which is good. Like it's good because it conditions you to think about those kinds of things that could brick your code. Oh, is Granblue gonna be acting? Bro, my Granblue's been acting up all day. Where not even all day, since yesterday. When I did the Marshall Mastery run last night, it it did the thing where it just kept hanging. And like I didn't have any other issues with like connections. It was literally just Granblue. I wonder if it's because the bros are waking up and they're slamming the servers for trying to get the new. No, I don't even know because like when I started doing it last night, like it ran fine on my phone. Because I did a couple turns on my phone before I like basically did what I just did now, which was close and open this again. Yeah, see, like it works fine here, works fine there. But then it won't let me into the actual raid fight itself, and I don't understand why it does this. It's so annoying. I hate when it does this. Like, let me the fuck in. Come on now. I'd rather you not let my host go to waste because I'm gonna be stuck on the screen for like. I won't be stuck for the screen on an hour. I'll just do it on my phone. It's just annoying. It's been doing that a lot recently, and honestly, I don't know if it's like a like. I don't actually think it's a Granblue problem. I think it's just a Chrome connection issue. But yeah, I really like the MOOC. They give you a lot of problems that kind of like make you have to think about things, and it tends to they tend to have like example like stuff written out in a way that it'll catch like beginner mistakes to kind of like teach you or not necessarily well yeah teach you like think about those things ahead of time or at least like teach you to understand what's uh what's like what could be a problem, right? Like primes your brain to be like, oh, I ran into this like before, and then stuff like that. Like it's really good. Like for instance, in this one, right, I have a conundrum where like I need it to print every single like grade, but then it also has to keep track of how many like are in it. And like I feel like there's a way to like a really easy way that I have in mind, but I don't know if I have like a nicer way. So I guess we'll probably just do it the long way and then try to figure it out from there. It's kind of like the plan I have for that. But yeah, so tonight will be more studying. It'll probably be uh the next couple lectures for MIT are supposed to be for like more theory based. So I plan at least for tonight. I'm gonna work on the projects from or not the projects, but like the little exercises they have underneath the lectures from the past two that I haven't done, which are uh inheritance, superclass, subclass stuff. So tonight will probably just be more of like this, like problem coding, like putting together. And I'll probably work on some of the MIT side things, and then on Thursday when I'll start doing the lecture thing. Friday is Wednesday night and Friday night will be Wednesday night for sure will be grinding Rise of the Beast at night. That one's just gonna be Granblue and yapping. But Friday night will be dependent on whether like how much of the grind I get done on Thursday night. Because if I get most of it done on Thursday night, or even all of it, because I'm also gonna grind it like off stream too, then Friday night might just be more like do another theory lecture. I don't know how many of the theory lectures there are, but I kind of want to get through those pretty quick. But yeah, that's kind of like the general game plan for probably the rest of the month, really. Because anytime I'm not studying, if it's not like playing with someone, it's gonna be Granblue because there's a lot of Granblue grinding for the rest of this month. Oh, pain. But it'll be fine. Anyway, since I mentioned them earlier, we'll just go say hi to them because they are drawing. Because I had a Hoshino. They draw very good art, so feel free to say hello. So thank you everybody for watching. I do appreciate it. Kind of just I don't know. I find it interesting. The coding thing. It's fun. I thoroughly enjoy it. Oh, I paused because I have it like minimized. Well, there's a Discord in case anybody would like to drop by and say hi. Thank you everybody for watching. I do appreciate it. It was Aaron Diffie. Have a good day. It was Nate Diffie. Hope you're well. Stay safe. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.